Nano Banana Pro is out, and it's generating images and videos that are shockingly realistic. And at this point in time, I'm wondering if we are descending into a real-life Truman Show situation. But think horror genre, if you didn't think Truman Show wasn't already horror. You know what I'm saying. Prior to Nano Banana Pro, I could generally tell when an image was AI generated because it had this kind of glowy, too perfect look. But that look is gone. It's now able to create images and videos that look like someone took them. Here's an example. See that kind of glowy, too perfect look? The skin looks a little plastic and her hair is just like perfect. Either someone heavily edited the photo or this is AI. But now look at the second one. That ethereal glow is gone. She's not perfectly crisp. The background is not perfectly blurred. I mean, this honestly looks like a photo taken with an older version of the iPhone. And it's not just photos. Look at what this YouTuber, Chase AI, did. He used AI to generate a foundation photo, which was a Viking woman, and then from that generated a bunch of different images with the same vibe and same character. He next used another AI platform to generate a good prompt, to then use a video generating AI platform to turn these images into videos. This stuff is truly amazing to see, but also pretty scary. But before I go further on this, I actually want to introduce a second aspect of AI to this conversation because I think it will converge with AI-generated videos and photos to create the potential outcome we are discussing in this video today. Now, depending on your age, or if you were paying attention to politics, which if you weren't, that's okay, some of you may remember a man back in the day named Andrew Yang, who predicted that AI would cause severe unemployment. He specifically focused on how automated cars and trucks would affect the trucking industry and displace around 1 million truck drivers. He was the first big public figure to raise a red flag about the dangers of AI to employment in America. Well, turns out he's still around and is now predicting that the use of AI will wipe out 40 million jobs in the next decade. That's huge and honestly terrifying to many, honestly, to everyone, really, because of the effect that will have on the economy, even if you don't lose your job. Andrew Yang, back in the day, was also a huge proponent of having a universal basic income, aka UBI. Given his prediction with AI and the job market, he has continued to push the idea of UBI, saying that AI giants should help fund UBI for every American. Specifically, he's calling for every American adult to receive $1,000 a month, no strings attached. He believes this cash will help workers survive the shockwaves of automation and provide them with economic stability. Here's the thing though, this creates one issue and it ignores another one. First, we would then have Americans heavily dependent on the government for their livelihoods, and I think we can all see the risk in depending on the government to keep you alive. And second, as Yang himself points out, while this may help people financially, it's not a fix-all. He recognizes that people need purpose, structure, and a sense of community. All things that we are losing because of technology and likely will continue to lose as that technology advances. And remember this point that I just made because I'll come back to this later in the video. Now let's move forward. We are now looking at these two problems that I just named, not the ones related to Andrew Yang, but the idea that AI is able to generate realistic photos and videos, and we also have AI potentially knocking out 40 million jobs in the next 10 years. So what could this mean for us? Well, unfortunately, I tend to prepare for the worst case scenario, so my prediction is not looking very good. But I will bring in some potential solutions and a great case scenario as well near the end of the video. So that's something to look forward to, at least. Anyway, the AI realm is not completely ignoring these potential consequences, thank God. Google has put watermarks on their AI-generated content, watermarks that you cannot see with your eyes or hear with your ears, but can be recognized using other tech platforms. This would aid in determining reality from fiction. But the issues are, first, this isn't an industry standard yet, so other AI companies don't have to and are not implementing a watermark. And then also with some heavy manipulation, the watermark is unrecognizable and we once again do not know if something is real or not. But let's put that aside because we have an even bigger issue. The one I am really focusing on in this video. Even if we have an industry standard watermark rule in place, or even if we ban AI from all of America, who's to say the government is going to follow those standards and laws? Especially when other countries may not be doing the same and probably won't be doing the same. I mean, are we really going to believe that the CIA isn't going to or hasn't already used AI-generated photos, videos, and audio to influence international and domestic affairs? What about political parties? What about giant billionaire tech corporations or just corporations in general that are practically untouched by the law? Let's look at this. Was the black man walking alongside the road actually assaulted by a police officer? Or was that an AI-generated video to cause civil unrest? Was that guy wearing a face mask and an Antifa patch actually setting fire to buildings during a protest? Or was that an AI-generated video to make the protest seem more dangerous than it actually is or was? See, here's the thing. These things have actually already happened in real life, so it's believable. And it would make sense, or it would make some people wonder, why not generate content to make them happen again and push an agenda? And you may say, Carolyn, come on. There would be no eyewitnesses. No one could actually corroborate these things happening. And to that I say, 1, people will be paid to lie and corroborate events that didn't happen, and we see this already happening. They'll lie to get attention online, or they're gonna lie for the greater good. If you genuinely believe a specific protest is wrong and its result will hurt our country, then is it so wrong to lie about what you saw? I mean, you have the right intent and it'll better our society, right? 2, things spread online like wildfire, and checking the accuracy of something lags behind significantly. In addition, humans naturally struggle with belief perseverance, which is when someone maintains a belief despite new information that firmly contradicts it. If they see the fake image or the video before they see the fact check, and even worse, if that fake image affirms a preset opinion of theirs, well, there is little hope they will change their minds. And that's if they even see the fact check after the fact. Most people don't go out of their way to fact check the things they see and read. And honestly, most of us don't have the time to do it. We have kids to feed, jobs to go to, hopefully, family dinner parties to host, and bills to pay. We don't have time to check every single thing we see online. 3, what about things internationally? Are the videos and images of the war-torn villages coming out of Venezuela real, or are they propaganda used to support the US's personal interest in accessing Venezuelan oil reserves? How are we supposed to know that? 4, a big goal of this could not necessarily be to get people to believe the images or videos, but to sow immense distrust and chaos within the population. This would cause fear and anger, which are 2 of the easiest emotions to manipulate, and they also stop us from thinking critically. They don't need you to actually believe that there's a war in Venezuela. They just need you to question everything you see and hear. So what I'm saying here is that we are at risk of entering a real-life Truman Show if we haven't already entered it. We already see that people live in alternate realities depending on the media they consume. We're struggling to determine what reality currently is. But now we won't be able to trust anything we see online or on TV, only further severing that tenuous cord to reality. With AI like Nano Banana Pro, what we view and what we think are current events, they could all be curated for us by those in power. So the idea of freedom, it becomes an illusion. How can you have the freedom to vote or to consume consciously or to protest if the things you're voting on, consuming, or protesting are generated by AI? The Truman Show had paid actors, keeping Jim Carrey's reality afloat. Well, our paid actors are AI generated and showing up in our phones, computers, and TVs, and probably significantly cheaper for government entities or corporations to employ. Now, let's pull Andrew Yang's prediction back into this. He thinks we're going to lose 40 million jobs in the next decade. Others are saying we're going to lose 44% of jobs in total because of AI. And Yang is arguing that UBI is part of the solution. So let me break this down. We already have a consumption-based population. Let's not kid ourselves. We consume so much content online and on TV. We are always wanting to buy the newest trend of clothes. We want the upgraded car. We want the luxury house. Have you ever noticed that everyone's talking about luxury nowadays? It's like obsessive. So we are all about consuming. On top of all of this, as technology advances in general, life has gotten easier. We don't have to order Netflix CD online and then wait days for it to show up in the mail. We can stream the movie immediately from our couch. We don't have to drive to the restaurant. We can have Uber Eats deliver it to our doorstep. We can even avoid the grocery store and have Amazon drop off fresh produce within hours. We are a complacent, individualistic, and consumption-based society, and with AI, it's only going to get worse. If we lose our jobs and get UBI for $1,000 a month, how would this help us? Yes, we would financially weather the storm of AI layoffs, but if no new jobs arrive, What are we supposed to do? Accept a monthly stipend and continue to consume AI-generated content curated by the government and billionaire corporations? Whether we like to admit it or not, humans need something to strive for. We need adversity. We need to set goals and work towards something. But in the same vein, humans are usually going to take the path of least resistance, especially if that path is lined with pleasure. And that's the path we are on right now. I don't think Yang is correct in his UBI solution, although it may help temporarily. But I do think he is correct in his prediction of the job market, as well as his concerns about how people need purpose, structure, and a sense of community. How are we going to implement that or find that when people's jobs disappear and a huge part of their existence is consuming content online that is untrustworthy and manipulative? As you can see, this spells out disaster. We are taking a society primed towards complacency and consumption, and then combining a fake reality, a loss of real-life interactions and productions, and potentially a dependency on the government. I'm not trying to fearmonger here. I really am not, but I think we need to consider these potential consequences and act before they happen. Here's how I work. I hope for the best, but I prepare for the worst. No one wants to be caught on their heels. So with that, let's discuss some potential solutions as well as a great case scenario, because I don't want to be all doom and gloom for you guys. Let's end it on a high note. First, we need to stay vigilant and act as conscious citizens moving forward. When we see content online, we need to fact check it. And if we don't have time to fact check it, we shouldn't be consuming leisurely, honestly, at all. If you want to watch Stranger Things for fun, that's one thing. Chill out and do that. But if you decide to watch the news or scroll social media, that's a whole separate situation that requires us to stay alert and aware, which is honestly a pain in the ass, but it's reality. We can no longer use social media in a passive manner. It's not for fun anymore. The fact that we think it's for fun is what makes us so susceptible to propaganda and all of these problems. And as a result, I would actually suggest we just don't use social media much at all. Don't think of it as something you can do for fun. It's not there. Go play pickleball. I don't know. It's insanely addictive. I get it. But that's why it's a problem, and we need to cut it out. Second, we also need to hold public figures and companies accountable. It should be a basic expectation that politicians don't use fake images, videos, or audio to garner support or smear their political opponent, and that politicians don't like, repost, or support the use of these kinds of images. AI has already been used in our country and others where deepfakes have spun false narratives of election candidates. This cannot be accepted as the norm. Finally, we need to plug into our local communities and make sure the people around us are staying strong and connected to one another. We are a huge country, but we are a federalist government where the power is divided between a central authority and smaller political units. You have sway in your local politics. Don't let the viral videos and memes make you think that whoever is president or whoever is in Congress is where the power lies. We've gotten so hung up on who's president and what Congress is doing, we're ignoring our local communities, and that makes us very vulnerable. So I now want to say, if we look at history, the government has had a lot of control over what we see and believe in the past. We didn't always have access to people across the globe reporting on things in real time. It seems there was a period where the transparency between the government and us was greater because the internet was so new and it was like the wild, wild west. But that transparency, I believe, is decreasing now. We survived the government hiding reality from us in the past before the internet was a thing, and although I think this is a more extreme situation, I do believe we can do it again. Okay, now with all of that, I just gave you 3 solutions, and I talked about, I kind of compared the history of the transparency with the government and what we're moving into now. But now, I want to talk about the great case scenario. I believe if we stay vigilant, if we get involved, if we hold people accountable, if we stay educated, that AI could really, really help us. I'll give you an example. US healthcare costs. Do you know that a 2023 study found that administrative costs accounted for over 40% of hospital expenses after COVID? That's a huge percentage. Automation of a lot of the administrative work in the healthcare field would significantly reduce this percentage and hopefully make healthcare more affordable for the average American. We can honestly also apply this to public schools where administrative costs have ballooned in comparison to other school-related expenditures, like hiring teachers or keeping supplies stocked. Although that may also be a big political fight. But nonetheless, AI could be used for good. It can make our society more affordable, efficient, and just. We just have to want it enough to make it happen. Although I believe us humans are naturally inclined towards sin and evil, and the delicious looking fruit that is AI is going to be hard for those in power to resist, I also believe that humans crave love and goodness, and that many people are willing to make sacrifices for the greater good. History proves that. And so don't let the negativity you see online convince you otherwise, because that's another way they win. So with that, I want you to get outside, say hi to your neighbor, buy the person behind you a cup of coffee, and read an opinion you disagree with. Be the love and goodness for someone else, and one day someone will be that for you. See you next time.